'cause we're gonna pull them through and give it all we got, even though it can't seem hard to catch and make it happen, but we can't start sliding. Come on and do what you gotta do to fight on. And so no matter what comes your way, nothing can ruin your day or even wipe a smile away. And by the time I'm up and out of my bed, I got 100 new ideas floating around in my head with the hope for tomorrow, a dream that I can see of all the awesome things, the great people we could be. Or maybe by the music or the songs that I sing, I'll change the world with the simple message that it will bring. All I know is that it's out there, there's more to discover, a lot of good things we can learn from one another. Gotta celebrate, laugh, and get excited about good times and good living. Come on and shout it out, hey! So take it up, take it over, take it out of control today and pray in my soul, and now you got me singing, oh, 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 oh.
Hi, I'm Rick Lamb, and today we're going to learn about natural horsemanship, a way of working and playing with horses that uses their nature rather than fighting it. We're also going to learn about a step-by-step approach to horsemanship called Parelli that allows people to reach their goals with horses, whether that means competing in the show ring or just feeling safe on a trail ride. And before we're done here, we're going to give you some specific techniques that you can use starting right now. So get comfortable and get ready to be amazed. This is Parelli Natural Horsemanship. You know, Parelli means a number of things. First and foremost, it's a philosophy. It's a philosophy that puts the horse first. It's also a system of foundation training, not only for horses, but also for people. It's a step-by-step program that allows people to have success right away. But I suppose most important, Parelli is a network. It's a network of people helping people. Instructors all over the world, students all over the world. Now that's what I think of when I think of Parelli. But let's see what students, real students using this system every day, have to say about Parelli.
The Parelli method is, to me, about getting things done and still achieving results and the goals that you want, but without the feeling of force or fear, and creating that understanding with your horse where you actually have a language and you can have a conversation as opposed to just telling them what to do.
From the veterinary perspective, the Parelli approach to educating people and horses allows the horse to be able to accept a veterinarian into their presence much, much more readily and much more comfortably, and therefore much more safely for both the veterinarian and the horse, as well as the owner.
Parelli changed our lives, and I think that it's still gonna have a lot of people there that are missing this part, but I think it's very important for them.
Pat, for somebody who has never heard of Parelli, how do you explain it?
It's an all-encompassing program that helps people be safe and have fun and achieve their goals with their horses. And it's a community of people who really care about putting the relationship with their horse first, putting the foundation before specialization, and never-ending self-improvement.
You know, the great thing that I've seen over the years with your organization is how the network of instructors has grown. You know, the fact that this is international is very interesting to me because this is more than just an American phenomenon now. It is truly worldwide.
Right now our program is in 47 different countries. Linda and I have traveled to over 20 countries ourselves, putting on seminars and giving clinics. We've had interpreters, this has been just the most incredible journey for us. But the most important thing is being able to help people help their horses.
And that's universal. People want that.
Yeah.
Natural horsemanship is looking at things from the horse's point of view.
Natural horsemanship is a way of training horses that really does utilize the horse's natural instinct.
Through this method, you can start to understand what's important to horses, what's valuable to them, and then you can make your goals important to them as well.
You're understanding the horse's point of view, and you're causing things to happen, you're allowing things to happen, you're shaping things.
Now you might wonder why we need a different term for natural horsemanship. Well, Pat Parelli distinguishes it from normal horsemanship or traditional horsemanship, which always has the human's goals at the forefront. There's not much room in that approach to horsemanship for the horse's point of view, for what makes a horse tick, what's important in a horse's world. Natural horsemanship takes all of that into account. Now, natural horsemanship is nothing new. The phrase itself was coined by Pat Parelli in the 1980s, but the ideas go all the way back to at least the Greek general Xenophon, who wrote about it in 360 BC. What is truly revolutionary about the times we live in are the communication channels that exist today for great teachers like the Parellis to take their message all over the world. Parelli has its own language. You're going to hear terms like the levels, the phases, the four savvies, zonology, horsenality, and the 7 games. Let's learn some more about the 7 games.
Parelli developed the 7 games by watching horses in the pasture, studying what they did naturally as they groomed each other and played dominance games. The friendly game builds trust and relaxation. The porcupine game teaches the horse to yield from steady pressure, for example, when responding to the rein or leg when riding. The driving game teaches the horse to yield from rhythmic pressure without touching him. The yo-yo game equalizes backwards and forwards movement, and it helps develop straightness. The circling game sends the horse around you and teaches him to come back to you. It also teaches him the responsibility of continuing to circle you without being reminded. This causes your horse to feel more drawn to you. The sideways game develops the skill of moving sideways. This is important for everyday things like opening gates, all the way up to lead changes. The squeeze game teaches horses to overcome their fear of small or narrow spaces. This is valuable for narrow passages like wash racks and horse trailers.
You know, Pat, today groundwork is so much a part of natural horsemanship. You coined the phrase the 7 games and gave people a way they could go out and do this in sort of an organized manner. What was the idea behind the 7 games?
First of all, 7 is one of the luckiest numbers in the world. What I did is I observed that horses actually played different games with each other. And I started analyzing, all of a sudden I realized, I started writing notes down, and I realized there were 7 different ones. And then I realized that in order for people to remember it, I needed little unusual names, the friendly game, the yo-yo game, the driving game. Now, Rick, I'm a real systems person, and I try to get things where people can learn things and remember things real simply. So by giving something an unusual name, by giving it like a number, not only the 7 games, but game number 1, and one of my favorite things to do is go, what's game number 3? And everybody goes, the driving game, what's game number 4? The yo-yo game, Getting people to where they could actively get involved in that was the reasoning behind it. And getting people to realize that if you can get a horse to play with you and, and respect you and that sort of thing, that this is one of the real secrets to having success with horses. Not working them and making them disciplined, but getting them where you get the obedience you want through playing with them. So this is where the 7 games came up with.
Zonology is a term Pat coined to help students think systematically about the horse. He's divided the horse into 5 active zones and a 6th zone called the delicate zone. Zone 1 is the nose. Zone 2 is the neck. Zone 3 is the main body. Zone 4 is the hindquarters. And Zone 5 is the tail. The 6th zone is considered a delicate zone, where their eyes and ears are located.
One of the things I love about the 7 games is that you're working with different parts of the horse's body. You call those zones.
I did a seminar years ago, and I turned off all the lights, and I took one of those red pointers, and I was pointing, you know, the horse was going around the round cross. I said, see here, from the withers to the point of his shoulders, everything in front of this, in front of that point is what will turn him or slow him down. Everything, you know. And I started realizing, you know, I thought, I had it. So I said, wait a minute, there's zone 1, there's his neck is zone 2, his ribs is zone 3, his hips zone 4, and his tail is zone 5. And I started realizing that you actually can play all 7 games with each one of those zones. Now that all of a sudden makes the possibilities endless.
And in true Parelli fashion, when you're working with the zones, you call it?
Zonology. What else could it be?
Of course.
The levels and the 4 savvies are 2 of the most important components of the Parelli education program. The Levels Pathway is a step-by-step instructional program that allows students to progress at their own speed. It can be studied through online videos, DVDs, at live events, and directly with Parelli certified instructors. Level 1 teaches you basic skills and safety on the ground. Level 2 develops more skill and confidence both on the ground and on the horse's back. Level 3 teaches how to develop a relaxed, willing, and cooperative horse on the ground and in the saddle. Level 4 develops the fundamentals of performance. This is the art of riding with contact and collection. The Levels Pathway teaches in 4 subject areas, called the 4 savvies. These are online, liberty, freestyle, and finesse.
You know, one of the terms you hear all the time in the Parelli world is savvy. What does savvy mean to you?
When I was a little kid, my dad, who was from New York, you know, he used to always say to me, hey son, you savvy? And I'd say, yeah. And he'd hit me over the head and he'd say, no, you don't, you know. Finally one day I ducked and he goes, now you do. And so to me, you know, we hear this term, you know, street savvy and fashion savvy and, you know, all this sort of thing. And so I started to realize that all the great horsemen, they have this special understanding, this special knowing, and they've got savvy.
Now you've built on that idea of savvy, this deeper understanding, with 4 different savvies. Explain those.
Pretty simple. Online, liberty, freestyle, and finesse. And if we start to realize that in order to become a complete horseman, we have to be good in all 4 of those areas. 2 of them are on the ground, 2 of them are riding. Online is when you've got, whether it's a lead rope or a lunge line, you've got some kind of physical connection. And there's times when a horse is at liberty, whether he's being hard to catch in the pasture or in the arena, or you're wanting to actually teach him to interact with you. This is all studying with the horse at liberty. Then we learn to ride with our horses freestyle, whether we're in a pasture or we're riding on a trail ride, or maybe even doing in the arena, learning patterns for reining. And the most challenging savvy is riding with finesse, because this is where you have to make absolute clear contact, where you have to be able to have that connection with your horse, and everything means something. My idea is that if you want to become a complete horseman, you need to savvy in all 4 areas.
So do you see that as a progression? Kind of you begin on the ground, online, all the way up to riding with contact?
I absolutely see it as a progression because, you know, just like learning to fly an airplane, we're going to do ground school first. And I think more people really need to get better with their horses on the ground and then head on into being able to going into the elements of performance.
Yeah, don't horses kind of start forming their opinions of us right when they first become aware of us? And that's usually with us on the ground.
Well, I think everyone knows that first impressions are lasting impressions, and what most people probably don't take into account enough is what does that horse think about us as we approach, as we then start making contact. It doesn't start when we just get on top of their back.
Horsenality is a term that Parelli coined to refer to his system of understanding horses through their basic personality types. It's a combination of the words horse and personality. One of the main goals of Horsenality is to help horse owners find specific training techniques that are the most effective for their horse, based on its own personality type.
You know, many people get stuck and say, well, I do this and I do that with my horse, and now I feel like I'm just doing the same thing over and over again and not making any progress. Well, this is generally because they don't have a goal, and they don't feel like they have the tools and the map to get there, even if they do have a goal. So spend a minute and ask yourself this. What is your primary goal with horses? Over the years, we found that people's goals with horses generally fall into 4 main categories. So let's look at them. First of all, there's people who want to solve a problem. Like, you know, the horse won't get in the trailer, or your horse is really spooky out on the trail, or you have control issues. Then, some people want to advance and refine their skills because they don't have those control issues. So things like mastering flying lead changes, or maybe competing with your horse in whatever discipline, English or Western. And then there's people who want to just be more safe and confident so they can have fun. You can make your horse life way more fun, more progressive, and more fulfilling. And then there's people who want to become a horseman. Maybe there's nothing more fascinating to you than thinking about how a horse thinks, how he learns, and how to cause your idea to become his idea using psychology. Now, I want you to think about this. What is your goal? Do you want to solve a problem? Or do you want to advance and refine your skills? Do you want to be more safe and confident? Or do you want to become a real horseman? Whatever it is, you can jumpstart your progress and prevent horse burnout by clearly identifying that goal and playing toward it. At Parelli, we're in the tools, knowledge, and inspiration business. Once you define where you're going, we can help you get there. For instance, if you have a communication issue with your horse, then knowing more about your horse's individual horsenality is going to help you to solve that problem. And if you're not sure what to do, but you have goals and dreams in a particular area, then we have subject-specific DVDs for you. And if you're interested in becoming a horseman, someone who innately understands how to get the most from a partnership with a horse, then we've got a step-by-step levels program that will help you prevent problems, not even have them in the first place, because you'll know exactly how to develop your horse. If you need one-on-one support, then you can tap into our worldwide network of trained instructors and benefit from personal lessons and development. So, how do you start? Just visit our website at Parelli.com, where you'll find one-stop access to all the pathways and tools and knowledge that are available to help you achieve your specific goals with your horse.
Putting the horse first is a lifestyle choice that we embrace in the Parelli community. The Parelli Savvy Club gives you the opportunity to connect with a family of like-minded horse lovers where you can ask questions, solve problems, and connect with professionals that really know how to help. You also have direct access to both Linda and Pat Parelli. You are part of a team, a movement, a way of life, whether your goals are simply to trail ride or to compete in the Olympics. Parelli is the foundation for all horse-human relationships. Inside the Savvy Club, you can schedule play days, plan trail rides, create a study circle, share your stories, your tears, your successes, your joys, and get the help and support you need to grow your horsemanship. Anyone can give you a stick or a rope. We can give you a place to belong, learn, and grow. We inspire, educate, empower, and most of all, we celebrate you.
It's time to ask yourself, where am I in my horsemanship journey? Where would I like to be? Could Parelli help me get there? If you'll go to Parelli.com, you can find out if Parelli is for you. I'm Rick Lamb. Thanks for watching.
Biting? Kicking? Rearing and bucking? Cinchy? Spooky? Hurtbound? Not the ride you were envisioning for yourself? We have an app for that. Introducing the free Parelli app designed specifically to empower you to solve problems anywhere, anytime with any horse. Inside the Parelli app, both Linda and Pat Parelli discuss the most common problems horse owners experience, breaking down why it's happening and what you need to do to resolve the unwanted behavior. You can live stream or download any of the training videos to take with you to your barn. This dynamic horse training tool will continually be updated with new and helpful video tutorials to keep you positive, progressive, and natural with your horsemanship. The Parelli app, on the go and user-friendly, created to help you understand equine behavior and improve your relationship with your horse. iPhone and Android users, download it now from the App Store or Google Play. It's free.